What's up traders, I'm Mike from GYLD and I welcome you to our first market review session. These market reviews will be posted every Sunday and we will be going over some of the major instruments like the dollar index, euro dollar, pound dollar, Bitcoin, gold, and indexes like S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Okay, let's start by taking a look at the dollar index and what it's done over the past week. So we can see price has spent a few days consolidating from Monday to Wednesday, and on Thursday we finally made a new high. Ever so slightly we closed above with a full body close, so that confirms our bullish bias even further. We have some nice previous highs to target, as there will be a lot of orders sitting above. We can also see that we have a nice gap here, which would be more visible on the lower time frame, like the hourly. Here we can see the gap more pronounced, and we can see that the price went back into it and is rejecting off the gap. So it will be interesting to see how the market opens and how it reacts. However, I would personally expect further bullish impulses coming in unless we get some impulsive move down in the beginning of the week. So as for dollar, I would be sticking to bullish bias and looking to sell currencies against the dollar or buy the dollar, in other words. Moving on to the euro dollar, we can see that the story here is pretty much the same. We spent a few first days of the week consolidating, pulling back before making a new low on Thursday as well. So here pretty much the same. It would be wise to look for shorts throughout the week, as we have made a new lower low, so we would be expecting a lower high right now, so a pullback, and we can jump in on the short side, looking to target previous lows and this previous low for a new lower low. Alright, taking a look at the pound dollar, we can see it's very similar to the euro dollar, as they are correlated and they move same most of the time. So we can see that unlike the euro dollar, pound dollar failed to make a new low and it spent the whole week in a range. So with this one I would be a little bit more careful. Euro dollar looks to be much cleaner. Euro seems to be much weaker as it's made a new low, and any shorts that are to come, if they are to come, would be much smoother on the euro dollar. So pound dollar, I would stay a little bit careful and I would lean more towards the euro dollar for now. Alright, next we have gold. As with gold, we can see that the price is making a new high once again. Looking at the bigger picture on the weekly time frame, we can see that we are at the all-time highs. So obviously the bias is bullish. We want to keep buying until we are proven wrong. But as of now, the price is way too high, it's very expensive, and when you're buying, you don't want to be buying at the all-time high unless you're doing intraday trading, which is fine. But if we are to see some higher time frame, higher probability trades, we would like to see some pullback on the 4-hour or the daily. It would be best if we see this previous swing low broken. Then we could look to buy at lower prices when people start chasing the sells. That's pretty much it for gold. There's not much to discuss. It's straight up just making higher highs, higher lows. So we want to keep buying that. Alright, now it's time for Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin, we're currently at all-time highs. We haven't broken above this previous high yet. I mean, we haven't closed above, so that will be something to watch out for. Currently, price is very expensive. It's at all-time high, so it doesn't make sense to be buying once again unless you're doing intraday trading, which is alright. But when it comes to higher time frame, we have to be very careful right now because price is consolidating above the previous high or around it. So this usually means that the big move is coming. To which direction, it will be important to see how the weekly closes, whether it closes above or below the previous high. So far, we've been closing below. So could be a sign of early retracement, or reversal, but as of right now, it is too early to tell. The trend is bullish, obviously, but we're also at very extremely high prices, and we're consolidating around the previous highs. So Bitcoin is something to be careful about right now, as it's pretty uncertain and there's a lot of greed in the markets. So Bitcoin likely bullish, but at this point I wouldn't trade Bitcoin. I would rather stick to something that is not at all-time high. All right, we got S&P 500 next. The S&P 500 has been edging its way higher, making higher highs and higher lows. Not many pullbacks, very shallow pullbacks, mostly just moving up. Very similar to Bitcoin, we're at all-time highs. Everybody is chasing the price. Some people are trying to catch the tops. Right now, the bias is still bullish, as the trend is extremely bullish, but it would be nice to see some pullbacks now. We can see that the S&P failed to make new highs, so this would be a potential target for the future. So ideally right now we would get a pullback into these lower areas, and we could look to buy and target the previous highs right over here. All right, and last but not least, we have the US 100 or the Nasdaq. Once again, pretty much a similar story to the S&P 500. We've been going up, making higher highs and higher lows. We're currently slowing down a bit, consolidating more and more, which could once again be a sign of reversal or a pullback starting. So right now, price is still bullish, but it's starting to slow down. The momentum is decreasing, and we're spending more time in consolidation. So as of right now, I would be a little more careful around the Nasdaq until we get more information. But once again, any pullbacks could be good to target the previous high and potentially a new all-time high. So yeah, that's it for the markets, and let's dive right into the economic calendar for the upcoming week. All right, looking at the economic calendar, we can see that Monday is a bank holiday for many of the major players in the market. So generally Mondays are slower, as there are usually not many news. Plus, it's a bank holiday, so I would advise everybody to stay away, stay on the sidelines through Monday. We have some news for the US dollar on Monday, but I don't expect it to bring much volatility. So it would be better to wait later into the week. Next, on Tuesday, we have some job openings and German prelim CPI, which could provide some volatility. Looking at the economic calendar, we can see that Monday sees a lot of bank holidays for the Euro, for the Great Britain, and for the Swiss. So Mondays are generally slower, and there's a bank holiday for most banks. Not expecting much movement during Monday. We have some news on Tuesday and Wednesday, but the most important thing that everybody will be waiting for is the NFP on Friday. And during NFP weeks, we can see quite a bit of consolidation usually, and then NFP takes out both sides of the market, generally speaking. So this week it will be quite aggressive in the second half of the week. Personally, I will likely be sitting out on the sidelines and waiting for the damage to be done. And looking at the economic calendar, we can see that we have NFP on Friday, which is a very high impact news, and the true movements will likely be waiting till then. We can also see that we have some bank holidays on Monday for some of the major banks. So Monday usually they are slower, as there is not many news. We have some news for the dollar, but being Monday and there being bank holidays, I don't expect much volatility out of Monday. On Wednesday and Tuesday, we have some news which could be traded. They might bring some volatility, but overall, NFP weeks, they tend to be a little more aggressive. They tend to wrench a little bit, taking out both sides of the market before the NFP release, which generally manipulates the market and starts the real move that the market is waiting for. So as for the upcoming week, There's bank holiday on Monday, so stay on the sidelines if you can. And there's NFP on Friday, which we don't recommend you trade. So NFP, it's best to just sit on the sidelines, observe the price action, and if you are to trade it, it is advised to trade after the news release, at least 30 minutes after, once the price settles a little bit. So we have quite a packed week starting from Tuesday, and we wish you guys good luck, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.